Hello, I'm Harry Riley. Welcome to Harry's 10-Minute Tales. This is a departure from my usual fictional short stories in that it is a true story and illustrates a labour of love. It is about a passion for a very special land. Not the pretty chocolate box image of the wonderful Cotswolds or the mysterious smuggling villages of Cornwall, but a romantic land of troubled strife over many centuries. There are no photographs to my story, but many eminent artists, writers and photographers have captured its rugged beauty, and many scenes are available on the World Wide Web. In effect, it is a personal view of Berwick-on-Tweed and the Scottish borders. Over 30 years ago, we took a family holiday in Northumberland, and whilst there decided to spend a day on Lindisfarne Island, which is Holy Island. On arrival at the Causeway crossing, the tides were against us, and there was to be a 2-hour delay. We were only a 20-minute drive from Berwick-on-Tweed, so we thought we would wander around England's most northerly town to fill up the time. Little did we know as we parked up in the centre of this fascinating coastal market town that it would be the start of a lifelong journey of discovery. We had no idea what to expect as we popped into the Tourist Information Centre to obtain a simple town map. The sea air was bracing and the sky was clear blue as we climbed the steps and wandered along the wide footpaths of the grassy raised earth embankments that comprise the Elizabethan walls and which are now in the care of English Heritage. Admiring ancient cannons, one came from the Crimean War, and spectacular sea views over the cliffs. The town of Berwick-upon-Tweed has many fine Georgian buildings and is situated at the mouth of the Silver River Tweed, where it joins the sea at the end of its winding 100-mile path through the beautiful Scottish border country. So absorbing was this rugged land with its ruined castles and troubled history hiding under every stone and grassy knoll that we would return annually for extended holidays, culminating in the purchase of a cottage in a little village nestling on the banks of the River Tweed, only a few miles from Berwick. Berwick sits on the north bank of the Tweed and has 3 bridges spanning the river. Being fought over many times by the English and Scots, including being taken by William Wallace, one of his limbs was gruesomely displayed hanging from the old bridge following his execution, as a warning to all. But Berwick remains an English town, for the present that is at least. Our walk around the outer perimeter of the town took us less than 2 hours, a sort of a 1.5 mile journey, but it was surprisingly relaxing, quiet and invigorating, with an indefinable atmosphere of welcoming peace, away from the hustle and bustle of the shopping Berwickers and the busy A1 motorway traffic, which at that time ran right through the town centre. We passed the Cromwellian Holy Trinity Church, deprived of a bell tower and said to be built from the stones of Berwick Castle, and passed by the imposing barracks of the King's Own Scottish Borderers with its interesting regimental museum, and then on towards the lighthouse, the main guard and the old quay walls. We were now approaching Palace Green, where the military governor once lived, and we could see across the harbour to the golden holiday sands of Spittal, once famous for its health-giving spa wells. And on our right was the large decorative crest over the old custom house, reminder of Berwick's important maritime past. The large colony of Berwick swans, mainly mutes and some hoopers, was in residence by the red sandstone Berwick Old Bridge, and then we were walking along the banks of the Tweed, with the ancient settlement of Tweedmouth across the other side, towards the Royal Border Railway Bridge, which was built by Robert Stevenson, and then up the slopes of Meggs Mount, overlooking the river estuary. And from here we could see all the way, on this clear day, to Holy Island. Then we entered Marygate, with its magnificent view of the town hall. This imposing building completely dominates the town with its 150-foot sky-splitting needlepoint steeple, an 18th century clock tower. It comprises of the usual greyish pink stone of the area and was once the jail from where men and women were taken to a place of execution, sometimes for seemingly trivial offences. The majority of town buildings have cheerful red pantan tile roofs from Holland with some grey slate and have been painted by many artists including L.S. Lowry. Eventually, turning into the town itself, we found the shopkeepers helpful and friendly. Our daughter suffered a sprained ankle, unfortunately, and we had to take her to Berwick Infirmary, where we found the helpful nursing staff more than obliging, as if she was the most important patient. This completed our welcoming experience and created an abiding memory. Berwick upon Tweed became our base as we hunted out the wondrous gems of the borders, and such has been my abiding interest over 30 years now that I have just written a novel called Sins of the Father, which is set among the residents of the Lower Tweed Valley, just after the start of World War II. End.